Hey, welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. Excited to be here today, kind of in a unique setting underneath an airplane, apparently. I just saw that with my productivity coach, Jay Puppo. Jay, thanks for
Good
being willing to do
here.
this.
Yeah, buddy, anytime.
Love this guy. Become a very dear friend of mine. And I thought it'd be interesting today to have this broadcast come from Jay's and my coaching meeting. And I think anytime you're being coached, it is essential to not just look at the business. I was taught once that if your personal life ends up in shambles, it will act as an anchor to the rest of your business goals. It will really slow you down. And so I know some of the first questions that Jay asked me when we sit down in a productivity coaching meeting is, how are things? How's life? How's the family? Mm-hmm. How's your health? You know, just things that he covers, areas that aren't necessarily business, and then we dig into business. And so I know that I feel strongly that that's by intention and by design. One, because we've got a personal relationship, friendship, deep friendship. But in addition to that, because it's all part of the big picture.
Definitely part of the big picture. You know, one of the things I love about Mr. Keller's book, The One Thing, is that he starts out by talking about the most important thing, which is your spiritual life. You have to have a center to this whole thing. And so he says, start with your spiritual life, then think about your body, then think about your key relationships. And the very last thing you think about is money, right?
Interesting. Yeah.
So you have to start with the core.
I love that. Jay and I were talking in advance of this, and there's really kind of 7 key areas of life that we focus on that Jay holds me accountable to. And we would encourage, I guess, an invitation for everybody here is that habits are the fastest way to change your life. Mm-hmm. And so we would encourage an invitation as you think about this concept of if you really want to increase your business, you're going to have to be a better person. You're going to have to be improve habits outside of just your business life. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they won't be sustainable. And so we had an invitation, right, that we wanted to talk about, which is to take kind of one step forward with something non-business related, right? It's the weekend. I know many of my real estate agent clients will be working part of the time, but not all the time, hopefully. But Jay, what advice would you have somebody if they're like, I really want to change either a health habit or a relationship habit or a spiritual habit? Like, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would encourage you and anybody who might be watching to think about the focusing question, right? Mr. Keller says, what's the one thing? So we're looking for one small thing. What's the one thing that I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier and necessary? And I've been thinking about sort of this, this vessel that I live in called my body. And how do I make it healthier? How do I make it stronger? And, you can think of a million different things. I got to eat better. And I got to go to the gym for 900 hours a day. And I got to do this and I got to do that. And it becomes overwhelming. And you do what? Nothing. Right? Yep. And so this weekend, I'm committing live to your audience and to you that I am increasing my water intake.
Cool.
Because I've noticed that my skin's a little bit drier. I've noticed that my mouth is a little bit drier. I've noticed I'm a little bit low energy. And probably I've had too much caffeine this week. So my goal is 100 ounces of water over the weekend, which is way more water than I normally drink. And so we're not trying to change the world overnight. We're just trying to look for that one little habit that you can do that will have massive impact.
I love it. So I would invite you, is it health? Is it your spiritual life? It's spiritual. Maybe it's say a prayer, right? Maybe it's go to church. Maybe if you're not religious in any way, maybe it's go give service, right? Go find someone to serve and help, tap into that deeper purpose, whatever that looks like for you.
Or have gratitude.
I like that.
Just being thankful. One of the things I teach my clients is when you're sitting in the car and you hit a red light, that's the universe's signal to you to take a time out and look around you and say, what am I thankful for? And use this phrase, go like this, say, I am grateful for, and look around you and say, man, that tree, I'm grateful. That's a beautiful tree. Yeah. Holy cow, I'm grateful for that tree. I'm grateful for the stop sign because it made sure that nobody crashed into me. Just all of the things that you can be grateful for. I promise you, if you get to 5, your whole attitude, your whole day will be different.
Man, powerful stuff.
Just be grateful.
Powerful stuff. Thank you for sharing that, Jay. Again, let's put this into action, right? It's one thing to listen to some people talk about some ideas. My intent is not just to have you thinking bigger, but also acting bigger, implementing these things, improving your life so that your business can also improve. So this weekend, we invite you collectively to pick one area, one non-business area of your life and start a new habit this weekend. And I think you'll find that business will be better as a result. your energy will be better, and you'll be a better person and a happier person as well. So Jay, thank you again, my friend.
Have a good weekend.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
And thank you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week. Still going on.